Your car already knows where you go. Your phone already tracks where you stop. Now corporations and law enforcement are building systems that can identify your face, monitor your voice, scan your iris, and decide whether you're a threat before you've even committed a crime. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. Innocent Americans are already being arrested because an algorithm thought they looked close enough. A father arrested in front of his children, a pregnant woman handcuffed over a bad facial recognition match, a truck driver detained because casino software claimed he was someone else. Not because police had evidence, because a machine made a guess. The founders wrote the Fourth Amendment to stop government from treating citizens like suspects first and people second. But in 2026, we are watching the return of the general warrant, except this time it doesn't arrive with redcoats and paper orders. It arrives through cameras, through AI, through the dashboard of the car sitting in your driveway. And once the machine labels you suspicious, proving your innocence may not matter anymore. Welcome back to Behind the Line podcast. Today we're talking about a constitutional right most Americans assume still exists, but in practice is being quietly bypassed: the Fourth Amendment. The right to be secure in your person, the right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures, the requirement that government action be based on probable cause, not guesses. But there is a new alliance forming between the cars you drive, the tech companies that build the cameras, and the police. Artificial intelligence is now being used in ways the Fourth Amendment was explicitly written to prevent, and it already is putting innocent Americans in handcuffs. The founders versus the general warrant. The Fourth Amendment wasn't written because the founders hated technology. They wrote it because they understood power. British authorities used general warrants, open-ended permissions to search anyone, anywhere without individualized suspicion. The founders rejected that logic. They demanded particularized suspicion, probable cause, independent judicial oversight. Facial recognition and smart vehicle surveillance threaten all three. They turn your identity and your daily commute into a searchable database. Your face becomes a permanent lineup, and your car becomes a rolling informant you never consented to join. The rolling informant. Let's look at the blueprints. Ford Motor Company has recently filed a series of patents that transform your vehicle into a high-tech surveillance hub. The criminal check patent, USA 2025-010446-9A1, describes a system where the moment you sit in the driver's seat, interior cameras scan your iris and fingerprints. This data is cross-referenced in real time with police and Border Patrol watch lists. If the AI flags you, your vehicle becomes a cage before you can even leave the driveway. Lip reading and enhanced mode. A patent from April 2026 details enhanced mode. If the cabin is too noisy, cameras watch your lips. They claim it's for convenience, but it allows the vehicle to hear you even when you think you're silent. The snitch tech. Another filing allows your car to monitor other drivers. If the car next to you is speeding, your Ford snaps a photo and sends the GPS coordinates directly to law enforcement. This isn't just a lead, it's the outsourcing of state power to an algorithm. The tech engine, Axis Communications. But Ford isn't building this alone. They are leaning on the infrastructure provided by companies like Axis Communications. Axis doesn't just make cameras, they make edge AI. Their hardware is designed to be the eyes and ears of the state. These cameras have the onboard processing power to detect aggression, microphones that analyze the tone of your voice, forensic search, software that allows police to filter thousands of hours of video for a specific face or license plate in seconds. Unity Systems, Axis integrates directly with police dispatch. When a car's AI flags a criminal match, it's not just a suggestion, it's an automated alert sent straight to a patrol car. The body count. Algorithmic arrests. Law enforcement claims this tech is just a lead, but the record shows something very different. At least 8 Americans are known to have been wrongfully arrested after police relied on these matches. Robert Williams, Detroit, arrested in 2020 because an algorithm ranked him as the 9th most likely match, not the best match, the 9th. Najir Parks, New Jersey, spent 10 days in jail while police ignored DNA and fingerprints because the algorithm matched him to a fake photo. Portia Woodruff, Detroit, 8 months pregnant, arrested in front of her children based on a facial recognition hit later deemed insufficient. Christopher Gatlin, Missouri, 2 years of liberty lost, awaiting trial based on a blurry surveillance image. That's not a lead, that's probable cause by algorithm, exactly what the Fourth Amendment forbids. Jason Killinger, private surveillance state power. Now we get to the case of Jason Killinger in Reno, Nevada. Jason is a long-haul UPS driver. In September 2023, he was detained at the Peppermill Casino after their facial recognition system flagged him as a 100% match to a banned individual. The system was wrong. Killinger provided a Nevada Real ID and vehicle registration. Officer Richard Jagger dismissed them as fake because the algorithm claimed certainty. Why this matters? This was private surveillance using the same type of edge AI Axis specializes in, feeding directly into state power. In November 2025, the casino settled, but the damage was done. The officer trusted an algorithm over his own eyes. Why disclaimers don't save us? Police departments argue that this tech is advisory and requires officer judgment. But constitutional rights don't survive on disclaimers. The Fourth Amendment doesn't say, be reasonable unless software says otherwise. Once an officer accepts an AI output as truth, confirmation bias takes over. Everything else, your ID, your alibi, your DNA, becomes something they have to explain away to protect the machine's verdict. The Constitution only survives if ordinary people are willing to defend it before it's convenient. That's the uncomfortable reality nobody in government or Silicon Valley really wants to admit. But once systems like this are normalized, they don't shrink, they expand. Every emergency becomes an excuse. Every new database becomes for your safety. Every surveillance tool becomes permanent. People are incredible at building temporary powers that somehow never go away. Funny how that works. And understand this clearly, the technology will not stay limited to violent fugitives or terror suspects. History says it never does. It always moves downstream. First, it's serious criminals, then persons of interest, then regulatory enforcement, then political activists, then ordinary citizens who simply got flagged by bad data and an overconfident machine. The founders understood something modern technocrats keep pretending to rediscover. Government power is dangerous, specifically when it becomes efficient. Liberty is messy by design. Warrants are slow by design. Probable cause is hard by design. Those protections were intentionally built to frustrate unchecked authority. If your car can identify you, if cameras can track you in real time, if private corporations can feed behavioral data directly into police systems, then constitutional protections stop being rights and start becoming permissions granted by software. That should concern every American, regardless of party, because someday the system you cheer for will eventually be controlled by people you don't trust. That's the entire reason constitutional limits exist in the first place. People keep needing this lesson repeated every few generations, like raccoons touching an electric fence. So pay attention to this issue now, not after the lawsuits, not after the wrongful arrest pileup, not after AI-generated suspicion becomes normal courtroom evidence. Because freedom usually doesn't disappear all at once. It erodes quietly under the language of convenience, security, and modernization. Thank you for watching Behind the Line Podcast. Please like, share, and follow if you got something out of this report. You can find us on YouTube, Rumble, Brighteon, BitChute, Spotify, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, True Social, and Patreon. Drop a comment below and tell us this. Should AI-generated surveillance ever be allowed to establish probable cause against an American citizen without independent human verification and a warrant?
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.